So to identify that what kind of section that we require in a design problem, what we will be doing, the basic thumb rule is we'll be identifying or calculating that how much area that has been required, for yielding. Why I am taking only for the yielding? Because yielding, there are three different philosophies are been there. One is for the first philosophy is the strength which is governed by the yielding. Then the next in the strength governed by the section rupture. And the third is the failure mode is the strength governed by the block shear failure. So I am just assuming that or considering that as the first mode is going to be yielding. So the area to be considered over here is in terms of the strength and all that is to be governed first by the yielding. So if I want to make the how much area it is required, so what is the, do you have or can you tell me that what is the formula for strength due to the yielding? Strength due to the yielding, TDG, is essentially AG, what is the gross area, times Fy divided by gamma m naught, Z naught. This is coming from the yield point of view, from the yielding. Now, this TDG, where from I should get the TDG? TDG is the design strength due to yielding of the gross cross section. I need to find it out, this gross cross section. This one, then which particular strength to be? This one to be TDG. I can easily consider it is a 375 kilonewton. Okay, so if it is 375, if I am considering it is a 375 kilonewton, then I can easily calculate what is the gross area that has been required. So gross area that has been required would be 1.21, that is a gamma m naught, multiplied by 375. A kilonewton is there, so I am providing in terms of the Newton, and divide by Fy. Fy is 250 Newton per mm square. Okay, so from here it is coming 1650 mm square. So this much amount of area, at least it is required. Okay, so what we specifically do over here is we have to provide this much area and at least this area or more than this area. So how more? Generally, thumb rule is at least 10% more we generally use to provide for making the design, for making the initial design. Okay, now to make the initial design, if we are saying that at least 10% more area we are going to provide, then what we can do is we can try any of the section. Let's say in this particular example problem, I have tried with two ISA section of having 75 by 50 by 8. Again, unequally flange, unequal leg. Okay, and the gross area which is coming of these two ISA, because my ultimate, what is my problem statement? Problem statement was to find it out a double angle tension member. Okay, now if it is a double angle tension member, so that is what I am providing two ISA section. Okay, basically why, another one thing, we have already been calculated the strength of the bolt based on the double shear. So AG would be coming 2 times of 938. Where from I should get this 938? 938 I would be getting from the, let me just write it down first. So this is coming from your steel table. Steel table. Okay, this is coming from your steel table. Right? So this much amount of gross area that has been required. That is being I am providing, but required is how much? 1650 mm square. Okay. Now what else? Does the design finished? Not yet. So what I am going to do, I am going to do checking the design. Okay. So to make the checking of the design, what I have to do, I have to first make the connections. Okay. So 5 number of bolts that I have already been calculated, and I have 2 ISA 75 by 50 by 8, and my gusset plate thickness is 8 mm. So with these particular informations, I have to check the design. So let us first think of it in this way, that over the whenever I am going to make it connect, I am going to make the connection here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts are there. Each bolt is having a pitch of your 60. Now at here, all are 60. All are 60. Because while making the calculation of the design strength, I have bearing strength, I have assumed already that one. Okay. So how much would be the LC? LC would be this much, is it not? So what is LC? LC would be your 4 times of 60, which is becoming 240 mm. So I'm placing all the things, whatever I have right at the moment with me. Now on the other view, if we are considering on the other view, this is the gusset plate. Over this gusset plate, now the point would become that which particular angle, which particular leg I am going to connect it over here. Let's say I am connecting only the longer leg. That means 75 mm long leg I am connecting over here. Okay. So this becomes 50, and other one is becoming your 75 mm. So it would be connected at both the place or both the sides. Now over here I am providing the bolt. Okay, over here I am providing the bolt. What is the thickness? This is the thickness of the angle, which is 8 mm. Okay. Now, while making the checking of the design means again we are analyzing the things based on the data which I have already been evaluated or calculated. So I have already been calculated the number of bolt, the section, all the sections. Then from there I have been calculating the LC, the length of the joint or the length of the connection. Then I am going to calculate again the similar process as in the previous example, that what is the length of the shear lag. So length of the shear lag, again the same process would be there. Length of the shear lag would be again the same process. What is the formula would be there? Formula would be WL plus W minus of T. Okay. So this entire thing is your, this entire thing is your 75 mm. So from here I have to get the pitch. Pitch means at which point within this angle the bolts are to be connected. Okay, so this would become for ISA 5 by 5 by 50 by 8. The pitch is already been specified as per the steel table. Okay, so the rest of the portion that would be coming over here, that is this would become 35. Okay, so what is 40? 40 is your, this is your E value, edge distance or end distance, that already we have been calculated while making the bearing strength. So now this is now known to me. How much it would be? 50 plus 35, 50 plus 35 minus 8. So how much it would be there? It would be there 50 means, what is 50? 50 is your outstanding leg. 35, what is 35? 35 is the from the this distance. How this distance is coming? This distance is coming after making the deduction from the edge or the end distance, and this 8 is the thickness. Okay, thickness of the angle, which is becoming now 77 mm. Okay, now once the LC and BS has been calculated, then again we do cross check the, already we have been calculated the area required for yielding, and we have been provided, this is we have been provided, this is we have been provided, and this is been required. Okay, so again we'll do the same process, strength against yielding, which becomes Ag Fy divided by gamma m naught. Now what is this Ag? Ag would be now whatever you have been provided, not whatever you have been what is been required. 1876 multiplied by 250 divided by 1.1. So how much it is coming? It is coming 426.36 kilonewton, which is greater than the stipulated load that is being applied. So that means against the yielding, this particular section and this particular connection has been safe. So the second one would be for the strength due to the rupture, strength of angle in rupture. Okay, so the strength of the angle in rupture, if you are going to find it out, again the same process, net angle or the net area will be net area of connected leg, net area of the connected leg, we are basically trying to find it out, ANC, which is to be 2 times, both the angles are being connected, 2 times 75. 75 is the total outstanding, total connected leg, minus DH, diameter of the hole, multiplied by minus thickness by 2. Okay, multiplied by 8, this much amount of square millimeter. So 784, it is coming 784 mm square. Okay, now the net or the area of the outstanding leg or the unconnected leg, okay, which is becoming a G naught, is equal to 2 times of 50 is the length of the unconnected part, minus 8 by multiplied by 8 mm square, it would become 736 mm square. So this protocol is the same as we have done in the example 1. Okay. Now what is the next point? Next point we have to, as one of the leg is been connected, So again, we have to find it out that beta. What is that beta? Beta actually takes into account the effect of the shear lag. Okay. So what is the beta? Beta is equal to 1.4 minus 0.076. It is coming from the formula which has been postulated already in the IS code, multiplied by W by 2 T times Fy by Fu times Bs, the total length of the shear lag, divided by LC connected length. So this becomes 1.4 minus 0.076 times 50 by 8 times 250 by 410, okay, multiplied by 77 divided by 240, okay, which is becoming 1.307, and this should be less than or equal to, Fu divided by Fy. Already we have seen this formula, this thing, gamma m naught divided by gamma ml. Ml means the plate. Okay, so this becomes your 1.4432, and this beta should be greater than or equal to at least 0.7. So all the things are satisfying over here. So after that, what I am going to calculate? I am going to calculate the design strength of this particular connection, which is coming due to the failure event due to the rupture. So if it is like that, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to employ the similar formula over here, 0.9 times Fu times ANC, the net connected leg. So net area and the Fu is corresponds to each other, divided by gamma ml, plus beta times, which is the shear lag effect. This shear lag effect is associated with the outstanding flange, multiplied by Fy divided by gamma m naught. So I'm not writing let me just write it for your easiness. So 410 times 784 divided by 1.25 divided by 1.25 plus 1.307 times what is your AG naught. AG naught is your 736 times 250 divided by 1.1. So this becomes 450.062 kilonewton. Again, this is greater than the applied force, 375 kilonewton. So that means in one particular case, in the previous case, it was satisfying. This is called the applied force. During the failure due to the yielding. Now failure due to the rupture, again it is being satisfying. So two cases are satisfied. So I am hoping that the next case also will be satisfied. And every time, whenever this kind of design problem comes into the picture, every time you have to satisfy all the design requirement that is already postulated in the code. So let us go with the third one. Third one means it is a block shear failure. Okay. So if it is a block shear failure, third one, strength against block shear block shear failure. I would say block shear failure par. Okay, let me just have a par angle, block shear failure par angle. Okay. Now in the block shear failure, what are the components that we require? We require AVG. V stands for gross shear area that we require. How do we find it out, the gross shear area? What is the pitch gross shear area? Let me just go over here. The gross shear and net shear. Okay, gross shear and net shear. So gross shear, how do we calculate the gross shear? So you have to find it out the shear length, and you have to find it out the tearing length in tension. Okay, you have to find it out the shear length, and you have to find it out the tear length in the tension. So gross shear area, how much it would be? The shear length multiplied by the shear length multiplied by what it could. Anyone?
Sir,
Shubham?
angle section thickness.
Shubham?
Yes, sir. Sir, angle section thickness.
Angle section thickness. Fantastic. Fantastic. So how much would be the shear length?
So total length of connection plus the edge distance, end distance.
Wow. The total length of the connection plus
The end distance.
end distance. Fantastic. So sorry. It's not coming properly. So can you, what can I write over here?
So it would be the length of the connection plus the end distance multiplied by the thickness. That would be the average gross shear length.
No, yes, that is okay. But let us go the stage wise. Rahul,
Okay.
let us first find it out that what is the total shear length, shearing length.
Shearing length is the length of the connection plus
Yes.
the end distance.
Length of the connection means how much it would be?
60 into 4, that's 240.
4 multiplied by 60 plus your 40. 40 times the thickness. Okay, so this becomes 2240 mm square. And the net, sorry, this would be V, this would be N. And the net, how much it would be? Net, again, it would be the same, 40.
So for net, we would remove the bolts.
Yes. So how many bolts are there?
5 bolts of
5
22. Minus 5 into 22. Bolt hole of 22 mm.
So 5 multiplied by 22, right?
Yes, sir.
So 5 multiplied by 22 multiplied by 8. Is there any observation from other people? Any observation? Is it 5? Should it be 4.5? It should be the 4.5 because we are basically taking from the centroid of the bolt. Okay, so this becomes your 1440 0.48 mm square. Now what else we require? We require the gross tensile area. In the, you see, in the block shear failure, no, this 4 area, if you can calculate this 4 area, your job is done. Nothing else you require to do. So the gross tensile area, how much it could be? Do you have the schematic with you? Because otherwise I have to time and again
Yes, so
go into
for
the slide.
Sir,
cross
tearing
tensile
length
is
into thickness of angle.
Yes, how much it would be?
40 into 8, 200.
So 40, where from 40 is coming? 40 is coming 75 minus
Minus
35
35.
multiplied by 8. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. So this becomes 320 mm square. And the net tensile area?
75 minus 35
75 minus 35, then
minus 22 by 2.
22 minus 0.5 multiplied by
Divided by
22.
22.
So this much is. So this becomes 232 mm square. So now simply what I will be doing, I'll be employing two formulas over there which is been there. So AVG, one formula is AVG multiplied by Fy divided by square root of 3 times gamma m naught plus 0.9 times ATN Fu divided by gamma ml. So this becomes gamma ml is 1.25. So this becomes 362.41 kilonewton, and second one becomes 0.9 times, just ulta ho jayega, multiplied by AVN net area. So I have to apply the Fu divided by square root of 3 times gamma ml plus ATG gross. So Fy would be there divided by your gamma m naught. So this becomes your 319.515. So effectively your block shear strength becomes 319.515 kilonewton. This is your block shear strength, which is obviously greater than or less than?
Less than 375.
Which is obviously less than 375 kilonewton. So now, does this make any sense? See, just look into this.
Yes, sir. It does make
This
sense.
is not, this doesn't make sense, right?
Right.
Now the thing is, we have calculated the block shear failure per angle. So how much is the total block shear failure? Total block shear strength. How many angles are there? 2. So 2 times 319.515 kilonewton. So this becomes to me, it is 639.03 kilonewton. Now this is obviously greater than 375 kilonewton. Okay, so this one basically for a single angle. Right. Therefore, at the end, what I will be writing, therefore, use 2 ISA. This is my design statement would be 2 ISA 75 by 50 by 8 with 5 number of bolts with 20 mm dia. So this is my design statement. Okay. This is my design statement. Now still it is not yet completed. Why it is not completed? Because in the steel design or the tension member design or compression member design, always we require to find it out that what is the slenderness ratio. Now we are not considering the design only, we are considering the member design. Okay, in the member design, the connection design would be an integral part of your member design. Now, whether my member is vulnerable due to the local failure or not, that I have to take into account. So how do I take into account? I can take into account by employing or by making into another one set of calculation that what is the slenderness ratio. Okay, so to make the slenderness ratio, what I have to make it? I have to go into the geometry first. Okay, this is my gusset plate, and from here I'm providing one of the angle. Similar way, I'm providing the another one angle. Okay, here my bolts are being placed. I'm providing here as a hashed portion. Okay, now this one is my 8 mm. 8 mm thick gusset plate. Let's say this is my YY direction, and in the entire portion or entire section, this would be my XX direction. Okay, so but I could make it, each of the angle would have their different centroidal axis. Let's say this is CUYY. Okay, now where it is being used or it will be used, that I'll be coming next. So what is the total length of the member? Total length of the member was, as we have been assumed, the L was 3.0 meter. So it becomes 3000 mm. Okay. So effective length, how much it would be? Effective length LE would be the K times of L. Okay, now both the ends are hinged in the problem statement, so K would be becoming 1.0 times 3000. So effective length and actual length are making the same. Right. Now what is your CUYY value? CUYY value, RXX, RYY, everything, radius of gyration, about XX, about YY, and the centroidal location of each of the angle are all, everything. Let me just write it down, then I'll CUYY is of the angle, RXX, radius of gyration 23.5 mm, RYY is 14 mm. Okay, so this entire thing is going to appear, or you can identify from the steel table. Okay, based on the data that you have. Now, from what I will be doing with all this information, with all this information, I will be evaluating what is the, in this particular set of connection or set of system, I will be evaluating what is the R effective Y. effective radius of gyration, because ultimately this is my the radius of gyration about YY for an individual angle. Okay, but within this individual angle, one of the gusset plate is being also attached, which is not been included in the radius of gyration calculation. Slenderness ratio means what? Slenderness ratio means the ratio of length to radius of gyration, least radius of gyration. Okay, out of these two radius of gyration, we are considering the least radius of gyration, R minimum. So R minimum is becoming RYY. Okay, so what is the effective R minimum would be? RYY square plus CYY plus 4 whole square. CYY means it is a centroidal position. Centroidal position. Okay. So from here, square root of 14 square plus 12.8 plus 4. Why it is 4? Because we are considering only the half width of the gusset plate, because another one half width would be attached with the or added with the other side of the section. Yes, angle section. So this becomes 21.87 mm squared, and still it is being less than the RXX value. So the R minimum becomes 21. R minimum becomes 21.87 mm. Okay, so now slenderness ratio L effective divided by R minimum, which is becoming 300 or 3000 divided by 21.87, which is 137.2. This should be less than 180, because there is another one table. I think in the slide also, lecture slide also, I have provided a table on which you have different scenario, different your slenderness ratio requirement. So this is the limiting slenderness ratio for general manner. If there is any particular load which is coming due to the reversible in nature, for example, earthquake and wind force, the slenderness ratio, there would be the different limiting slenderness ratio. I think you should take into account those tables which is being there. Okay, which is being there. So if there is any reversible nature, or if there is any compressive action of the force, so in the reversible nature of the force, this LE by R minimum, the limiting to be is, as it has been postulated in the code, it will be 350. So your members or your entire system would be designed in the way that it satisfies also the limiting slenderness ratio. Okay, is that understood? Now I'm going to give you one particular problem. Just you can try with that. Problem is, 60. This is a gusset plate of 10 mm thick. Okay. This one is another one plate which is being connected at here. This is 160 mm. This plate is dimension is 160 by 8 mm thick. 160 mm by 8 mm. The ultimate stress and the yield stress are as usual 410 and the 250. You can use the 16 mm gusset, 16 mm bolt. You can use the 16 mm bolts over here, and I'm providing the bolts pattern in this particular way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, then 1. Okay, this is, let me just put in a different. This is the 1. This would be the line 2. This would be the line 3. Okay. Now at here 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this is 30. Pitch is, both the pitch are 40 mm. Another, this is the end distance 30 mm. Okay. Determine, find the design tensile strength of the plate. Okay. So as usual, all other values are being given over here. The Fy is of the plate, it has been given 250 MPa, and Fu is becoming 400 MPa. So how do we proceed? How do we proceed? There are certain things are missing over here. From here to here, one moment. Here also I will be, and here. So this would be, how much it was? 30. This would be, this would be 30, and all the, these are the gauge length, not the pitch length. All the pitch lengths are 25. All the pitch lengths are 25. So we have to find it out, the design tensile strength of the plate. How do we get it into? Now if you look into the pattern of the bolt, which has been connected over here, this is not a regular pattern. It is a diamond pattern, or the not in fact the chain bolting, even though it is not a staggered bolting. So similar, I think similar kind of problem was also been given in tutorial 2, and there I think we have missed, or we have skipped some of the strength calculation. So to define the strength calculation, you ideally need to do is finding it out the strength due to strength due to the yielding. How much would be the strength due to the yielding? Strength due to the yielding?
So gross area Fy over gamma m naught.
Okay. So this would become TDG is becoming Fy times Ag divided by gamma m naught. Okay. So this would become 250 multiplied by 160 multiplied by 8 divided by 1.10. Okay, so this becomes 290.9 kilonewton. Okay, second one is called the rupture. Second one is called the rupture of net section. Rupture of the net section. So you see, the net section we have to identify or calculate. How do we calculate the net section rupture? That means the formula was TDN is basically nothing but 0.9 times of Fu divided by AN, Fu multiplied by AN divided by gamma ml. Okay. Now, if it is like that, that means this AN are to be identified. So how do we calculate the AN? The fact is now here we are talking about the rupture. So we have to make ensure that we are considering the proper failure plane. Proper failure plane means how many failure planes that can happen over here? One failure, let's say this is, sorry. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So there might be AN can be calculated if the failure path to be along 1, 1. If the failure path along 1, 2, 2, 1. If the failure path along 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So these are all the possible failure path that we have. Okay. So now if we have all the different failure paths, then for the first one AN1, AN2, AN3. For here, what is the net area would be? Net area would be 160 minus of 3 times of 18 times 8. Okay, so it would become 848 mm square. Along this line or path, if you are choosing, then 160 minus 4 times 18 plus, plus 2 times of p square. P stands for the pitch square, right? So 2 times of 40 square divided by 4 times of G. G stands for the gauge. Okay, this to be multiplied with 8 So this becomes now, if we are considering 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, that means it is a zigzag pattern. So this pitch and the gauge is going to take into account that zigzag pattern. Okay, already this formula is been provided to all of you. Okay, now it is becoming 960 mm square. Right? The third one is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. This way it is coming. So how many bolts would be there? And what is the area would be? 160 minus 5. 160 minus 5. Okay. Times 18 plus 4 times 40 square divided by 4 times of 25 multiplied by 8. So this becomes 1072 mm square. So the net area of all three different failure plane has been calculated like this way. Possible failure plane. Now I have the headache that which area, net area to be considered. Any of you, which net area to be considered?
So the minimum
first.
First one, minimum one. Why minimum one?
minimum is always critical.
Minimum would be always critical. Can you please elaborate why the minimum would be always be critical? Yes, I do agree with you, but why it would be always critical?
So we have the minimum area, our yield stress is fixed. So the minimum amount of load it would take at the minimum area.
Okay.
That's why.
I'll come back in a bit different kinds of orientation of the bolted connection, and then I'll ask another one question to you. Okay, so if you are considering the minimum area, that means this one to be considered over here. So if you are considering, then by providing over here 0.9 times of 410, 0.9 times of 410 times 4848 divided by your 1.25 multiplied 1.25. So this would become generally 250.33 kilonewton. Okay, 250.33 kilonewton. So the design strength, what would be the design strength? Design strength would be one design strength is coming from here, another one design strength is coming from here. So which one to be the design strength then? Design strength to be considered over here, 250.33. Out of these two minimum.
Yes.
Okay. Now another one important thing that you have to also take into account is check. One check to be there. Check for minimum edge distance. This is one secondary check that you have to take into account. Okay. How much is the minimum edge distance? 30, which has been already provided over here. But how much is the minimum edge distance that is required? 1.5 times of DH, diameter of the hole. So which is becoming 27 mm. Okay. This is less than 30 mm which is provided. So that means the system on which we are basically making the analysis and all, it is satisfying some of the design criteria. And based on those design criteria and other related features, we are basically calculating what is the design strength. Now, here, I have one small query to all of you that, let's say, this entire configuration, this thing, if I'm just making it into a reverse in the sense that this one bolt in this particular way, then what could have then happened?
So please repeat.
If the bolted connection, whatever we have been provided already, and based on that we are making the calculation, if we are not doing like that, if we are doing like this way, then is there any change, or is there any governing physical principle will be changing from a physics point of view or the failure point of view? Which one to be the most robust, more robust?
Sir, the previous one which we did calculations for is more robust than the new one you provided.
Okay. Why it would be like that?
So because the maximum tension, well, like it's not really a straight line for the shear for if we are considering the amount of tensile force for the new section 1 and section 2. The section 1 experiences the most amount of tensile force rather than the last bolt in section 3. There, though the area is minimum, but the bolt may fail.
Yes. That's true. Okay. So with this, I am closing this today's session. Perhaps on Monday, we'll be starting with I believe that we can start with the design of compression member. Okay. Is there any other doubts or query? Okay, then thank you very much. I'm closing over here.